Hey everyone, I'm Trey Rich and you're watching The Buzz. On today's show we have TILDA COBHAM HERVEY, Danielle MacDonald, and director Unjoo from the Helen Reddy movie, I Am Woman. I Am Woman is the inspiring story of singer Helen Reddy, who wrote and sang the song I Am Woman that became the anthem for the women's movement in the 1970s. The film is a story of fearless ambition and passion of a woman who smashed through the glass ceiling and hurdles over time to become an international singing superstar. We have TILDA COBHAM HERVEY, Danielle MacDonald, and director Unjoo to tell us all about the movie. Let's check it out.
You sing very nicely, but male group's all the rage right now. You've heard of the Beatles, right?
Did it ever occur to you, men, to ask women what they want to listen to?
Helen, she's tapped into something here. Remember that march in New York and how many women showed up to that? Bunch of record sales marching down the street.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
It's kind of angry.
It's man-hating.
Jeff, you okay with this?
What are you doing? You want to lose your recording contract?
This is more than just a song to me.
I mean, I think if you see what was happening in the film, you realize that we've come a long way since then, but we've still got a really long way to go. And I think it's really important to be educated on our past and to see the people that have paved the way for the progress that we have today, but also be aware that we've come from here and we're now here and there's still so much to go.
It was such a joy to sort of learn about her life and step into her shoes for a little while. You know, it is challenging to take on a character that everyone knows and loves so much. But I was really lucky to have an incredible team and director Unjoo, and like we had an incredible costume and makeup and hair and makeup team. And so we sort of were able to sort of find sort of the things that people would be able to recognize as Helen, certain parts of her physicality or the way that she spoke. And you sort of do as much research as possible and try and take as much as it in. And then, of course, you get to set and you have to sort of throw it all away and just be in the moment. But it was a very incredible experience. I feel very grateful to have just learnt about her life.
On top of the period aspect of the film, we actually shot Los Angeles. I should say we recreated Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, actually all in Sydney, Australia. Wow. So apart from 2.5 days that we shot in Los Angeles, because we wanted to capture the Capitol Records building, that was very hard to recreate over here. We pretty much, scouted the streets and the suburbs of Sydney to find locations that really embodied those cities and those periods of time. We had a wonderful, I had an incredible team of people around me. First of all, the cinematographer, Dion Beebe, who was able to add so much to the locations with the way he shot the movie. And our production designer, Michael Turner, has a background in architecture and has lived in America as well. So between the three of us, we could really scout exactly what we were looking for. But that was challenging, and especially because you have lots of different periods of time. And once you start shooting, those different time periods mean that every time we switch over from one era to the other, you know, TILDA has to completely change her her hair, her costumes. It was big, but it was really fun.
Lillian?
Hello, darling.
Oh,
Welcome. Where are you staying?
Hotel Albert.
Oh, you poor thing. It's a terrible dump, isn't it?
The worst. But the price is right.
Well, I hear the Easy Beats are headed to town soon, so you might be in good company.
Obviously knew the song I Am Woman, but I'm very ashamed I didn't know a lot about her life. And she was a very private woman, but she had such an extraordinary career. I mean, she was the first Australian to win a Grammy. Like, she was so massive. So, it was a lovely joy to just be able to delve in and actually learn about her. And I'm really excited to be able to share her story with the world, because I find it crazy that a movie hasn't been made about her already.
I think the movie touches upon a lot of themes. I think obviously it is centered on Helen's life, but Helen had a lot happen in her life, and it brings up all of that. It brings up the Equal Rights Amendment and feminist push, and it brings up how she kind of changed the way that women were thinking at the time. It shows how you can be standing on a stage and inspiring millions of women, and then things aren't perfect at home, and it's not always that easy. There's always like two sides to every story, and I think it just shows how complicated and complex life is.
There's a scene in the film where she sort of goes in and pitches the song I Am Woman, and sort of there's a group of men sitting there and they're thinking it's man-hating and no one's ever going to listen to it, and it was quite amazing to live through those moments in history. But I also know that, and maybe Unjoo can speak on this, that they had some real struggles as well getting this movie made and had some very similar experiences. So I hope that we have moved from there, but I think we still have a little bit further to go, and maybe you can speak on that.
Yes, definitely. We, that scene in the Capitol Records building where the execs are telling Helen that, what kind of a song is this? Nobody's going to listen to it. I think that when we were first putting the movie together, we had a very similar response. Quite often, Rosemary Blythe, the producer, and I would be the only women at the table. And when we were pitching this story, we had a lot of baffled looks from men saying, who's Helen Reddy and why would anybody want to watch this movie? And considering we just opened in Australia, we're currently trending #1 in the country, I think there's a pretty good audience out there for this.
I Am Woman is in theaters and streaming on September 11th, so please check it out.